Telepathy is real.
Family vlogger horror movies.
The Lost Library of Nineveh containing secrets from the Watchers.
Hold on tight, because we talk about all that and so much more on today's episode of Ninjas Out of Butterflies.
Welcome to the show. Oh, wait, and
Oh yeah, this podcast is brought to you and powered by Sunday Cool. Watch this or listen.
Yeah.
Por favor.
Thank you for the translation.
magic.
That was perfect.
If you're trying to kill somebody.
Golly.
Huh? Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. That's the reason why we're Mongolian chanting. Gregorian.
Do the Halo theme song.
How's that go?
I have no idea.
I am Halo.
Halo.
Am I a robot or an alien? I don't know.
Are you sick?
No. Do I look it?
Sick with it.
I heard you throwed up.
I did throw up yesterday, but I just woke up with just like a weird, I don't know. What?
Are you sick?
Guys, I have
I'm not
news. I have news. Actually, I went to the doctor last week.
Cancer.
They they diagnosed I'm sick with it. Sick with it. Sick with it.
I have this thing where if somebody around me gets a stomach bug, I immediately start showing symptoms.
Just you see my face, you're like, oh, I feel like sick.
Gosh,
Something in the air.
I feel terrible.
No, it was just like I just woke up feeling like junk, and then it came out of my body, and I felt better. So I went to work, and
What if you never heard the term throw up and you're just trying to explain to someone that you threw up, but without knowing that it's called throw up? Like, did you throw up? No, it's like.
So yesterday's food came out, and
What do you mean? Like you pooped?
the
or-
top, it like the acid stuff. It came through like my
Oh,
throat,
so you threw up.
and I don't. I'm just saying I don't know what that is. So I'm just saying like it just came out of my mouth, and like it was a bunch of like mush and
Yeah, that's throw
Ew.
up.
old waste
Ew.
mush.
It was throw up.
Guys, you're making me nauseous.
I didn't even throw it. It went down mostly.
What do you mean it went down?
I didn't touch it all. It didn't throw anywhere. I didn't throw it up, and it fell down. It was more like a fell down.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I fell down yesterday into the toilet.
moving forward, it's called throw up.
Okay, got it.
That was like
Right.
Thanks, Dad.
Right.
that was like Ada when she ate that whole bag of M&Ms. She said, "Look what came out of my mouth."
Yeah. That was really funny. Did we
That's
talk
a
about that on the
mystery.
I think
podcast?
so. Yeah.
She had the whole bag and she was acting so grumpy and mean. And then we got home and on her Ring camera, she goes inside and she walks out and she goes, just all M&Ms. And she walks away and comes back and just stares at it. And just was
Was that
great.
like her first acknowledgement of like throwing up?
I think so.
That's a crazy moment to like. If we could, as adults, experience that for the first time, I think that would be so traumatic.
Yeah.
I have such a I'm a weird. I have a phobia or something of puking. I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
I get triggered.
touching or picking up like in the house with the dogs, the kids.
Really?
It sends me. And Kel's like thinks I'm such a wuss probably because I'm literally every time I do it, I'm like I'll do it,
This is
but I
actually
can't
starting to make
help
me
my
sick.
bodily reactions to. I'm like
You remember the first time you had the runs?
the runs.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the first time.
I remember
Yeah.
I can vividly remember the first time I had a bad diarrhea thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was horrifying.
Welcome to Ninjas or Butterflies.
Throw up and boo, baby.
I screamed.
Welcome home.
I screamed from the other room, "Mom, I'm peeing out my butthole."
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. We need that on a t-shirt.
I thought something inside me got backwards.
Just, maybe I fell down too hard yesterday and
What's
now everything switched around.
That's like panicking.
I remember.
Now
I
I'm scared to
remember
burp.
the other day that I've always had big reactions to vitamins because as a kid, my mom gave me a vitamin one time, like a Flintstone or something, and I remember being like,
A Flintstone vitamin.
"Sick! I
The
can't do
Flintstone
vitamins."
vitamins have to be the placebo, right?
Probably. I mean, I
They
can't
have
imagine.
to be.
Mm-mm.
They're like a sugar pill.
I think FDA has to they have I mean everything's on the back of the bottle, so I don't know. Let's just pause the pod right now and go to the Walgreens
Okay.
and pick up some.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
Speaking of get to
Oh!
That's 3 in a row.
Oh.
This is getting crazy.
Oh my gosh! Wow, it's
Very
Magic
good.
Mind.
Magic Mind. That literally would never have happened without Magic Mind.
Um,
Are they paying for an ad in this one?
no.
That's funny.
We just like do a little trumpet over her saying it. Oh,
I thought you meant Trump.
what?
What if it's Trump just doing a trumpet sound?
Do.
That's his Louis Armstrong. What the world needs now.
Love.
Sweet love.
What'd you find?
Yeah, Flintstone vitamins are the #1 pediatrician recommended children's vitamin brand and have been trusted by parents for 50 plus years.
Trusted
Yeah.
by parents, but what about the
Eat that.
doctors?
Oh,
It
The
started
pediatrician
with
recommended.
pediatrician recommended.
I didn't know.
pediatricians aren't doctors, though.
Yeah, they're not doctors.
They're
Like,
not
if you take care of a
doctors.
kid, it's not a doctor.
It's only like a community.
Listen, if a woman could be a pediatrician, pediatricians aren't doctors.
Hey, watch it.
That was a quote I just read.
Speaking of pediatricians, Jane has something on her toe.
It's a gnarly ingrown toenail.
Oh, no. I thought it was like
It's
another
the
toe.
worst.
We have been torturing her, trying to get this toenail fixed.
Dude, it's the worst.
When do
Like
you,
anything to do with like splinters or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a nightmare.
when do you draw the line and just say this needs to be surgically done?
I would say immediately, honestly.
Okay.
I don't want to describe what I do on the podcast because
We stuffed the cotton under her toenail.
I shove a needle down
hate
the side
nails,
of the nail.
Oh, what are you, Jigsaw? Oh my
I do it to myself.
Multiply game.
Yikes.
Dude, this is the fun episode intro. This is all body stuff, dude.
Speaking of Jigsaw, you want a song?
A jigsaw?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my jigsaw.
See what I did there?
See what I did, kid? Hey, read all about it.
Do you see what I did there? Yes, I saw what you did there. Did you see what I did there? Yes. Speaking of poops, barf, and ingrown toenails, do you want a song that doesn't have to do with any of those? Yes. Or it could be related to all those things. Okay. Let's begin.
Right.
Let's
No.
begin. Let's begin. All right. It's dumb.
That was great.
No, that was good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. What do you want a song about?
I would like a Gregorian chant.
Okay, we'll do exactly that.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
The sun is up, the skies are blue, the flowers bloom with drops of dew. Gentle breeze, the trees awake, the world is fresh, no time to waste.
The kids are laughing, flying kites, picnics under golden light, and everything is perfect now, as long as we don't think about chemtrails painting in the sky. Weather's fake, it's all a lie. Hey, look, baby ducks just hatched. Let's not get caught up in that. Springtime is here, the world feels bright, the day stretched long, the heart feels light. No time for fear, no time for doubt. Let's just ignore what's really going down. What's really going down.
The butterflies dance through the air, gentle warmth is everywhere. Windows open, curtains swaying, the birds and bees out pollinating.
Let's take a walk, breathe in the air, feel the sunshine in our hair. It's a perfect day, I swear that it's true, as long as we don't think it through. Moon landing was Is it real? Did lizard people make this field? But wait, look, a lemonade stand. No need to dig deep, my friend. Springtime is here, the world feels bright. Days stretch long, the heart feels light. No time for fear, no time for doubt. Let's just ignore what's really going down. It's really going down. Really going down.
It's all right. We got there.
We got there.
Wow!
Some unexpected turns, but we got there.
Messed up a little here, messed up a little there, meshed it a little together, and
Yes, I thought it is okay. Yes, it sounded good. I think it sounded fine.
what'd you think?
Wow, I loved it.
Clap again, please. Thank you.
Wow, very good, guys.
Very good, guys.
Very good.
It is very good, guys.
I loved it.
You sing like bear,
You sing like very pretty bear.
and I like that.
You sing like very short, pretty bear.
Will you marry me?
Will you be a wife?
Will you be wife and prisoner?
Please.
I beg of you.
I asked your father. He said no. Your father no more.
Your father.
Not be my
Your
wife.
father dead.
Oh, man. We have fun.
Dude, this was a great episode. Make sure to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys on Patreon.com/Butterflies for an extra episode. Yeah, we have fun. Me and Andy got into it today.
Oh no.
Which is-
Regarding?
I'm glad we're getting to this.
We're changing
high.
we're changing the format a little bit. So today's question, which me and Andy think that you'll have a different answer for.
Oh.
Today's
important.
question was Lord of the Rings the best trilogy of all time? Me and Andy have different answers, and we're both betting on what you'll say to this. Was Lord of the Rings the best trilogy of all time?
Think about the beauty of it.
The
Sure.
score. It's ahead of its time with CGI.
I have to say yes. What?
Lily, of all the trilogies in the world.
You think Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy of all time?
I told you. I knew it.
Give me
I
more
knew
time
she
to
would
think
say
about
this.
it.
No, I knew she would say
No,
this.
I mean, I don't even know what there's to think about. How about the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit?
That's Trinity.
I would say it's a trilogy.
No.
Trilogy. 3 of one beautiful thing.
Did I say I meant Trinity?
That's that's Latin for. That's where
Yeah,
it comes from.
The tri,
Literally.
Yes.
not.
triology,
Yes.
triunity,
Triunity. Yes.
trilogy.
Yep.
And you think Lord of the Rings is better than the Godhead?
No.
I think it's just what you just said on record. I mean, there's literally millions, hundreds of millions of people that are just witnessing.
If not tens of millions.
Yeah, probably.
And this is weird.
Yeah, this is really
I
unfortunate.
mean, I definitely think Lord of the Rings is a great
No.
trilogy.
Yeah, but she's taken something
give
beautiful.
credit where credit is
but
due.
saying Lord of the Rings is the best Trinity?
I'm sorry,
Is
Peter
that
Jackson's
exactly what you just said?
Peter
No.
Jackson's no god, okay?
Yeah, he's no god. He's a great director. Maybe
Yeah.
not the Beast or the machine movie that he did. I don't know what it's
Listen,
called.
I love Peter Jackson more than the next
More
guy.
than the next guy.
Unless the next guy is Peter Jackson.
Unless the next guy is Peter Jackson.
But still not putting him over the Godhead.
There's
the whole
no
son.
way. There's no way I would compare Peter Jackson or the Lord of the Rings trilogy to the Trinity and say that it's better.
Yeah, but she did.
But she did.
But she did.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I
It
didn't
doesn't
say
matter.
that.
Welcome to the show.
Did I say ninja? I meant the butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations.
I said empty your mind.
You learn martial arts! Ninjas attack!
People of Earth, this is your Supreme Commander Zylog. Our invasion was flawless. Your armies were nothing. Your weapons, useless. Victory was ours. And then we touched your shirts. Soft, too soft. A fabric so unnatural, so repulsive. repulsive, it made my cousin Schlasky soil his spacesuit. We had no choice but to retreat. But hear me now. This is not over. Cease all production. Destroy every last shirt. And for the love of the galaxy, do not go to SundayCool.com. If you do, we will return. The next time, we will be ready.
That was so perfect.
Oh my
Look,
gosh.
don't take that personal.
Have you ever been witnessing to somebody and they're like, wait a minute, Jesus is God. And you're like, oh boy. Yes.
Can you sit down for me for a second?
Sit down for a minute. When I get started.
It's always tough.
Wait, what did you say?
You ever been witnessing to somebody and you're like presenting the gospel and you're like, you are a sinner. Jesus sacrificed himself. And as long as you believe in him, you're covered. And then you're like, yeah, God sent himself in the form of his son to save you. And they go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're like, wow. Yeah, big one.
I always start off those conversations with simply just like, one, we have to fully understand. We will never fully understand. Like, so it's like,
Yeah.
we can't, it's never going to make sense to us.
Yeah.
But over time, God will reveal certain things that, you know, like, oh, wow, I didn't even see it that way. A different perspective, different lens, and it'll just be more clear. And it's also an experience. Like, it's a relationship thing, too.
Yeah.
So it's
This actually leads into a great conversation I want to have.
hot dang, dude.
Talking about not being able to understand things. I've been really getting back into the telepathy tapes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
I need
so
to
good.
catch up. I still have not.
It's so educational too, because they talk about science since like I'm gonna totally butcher this, but like the 1800s. They said that science has revolved around materialism. Basically, anything you can see and touch that can be studied by science.
Yeah.
Everything outside of materialism is
Theory.
it's theory or it's hocus pocus. It's cringe, not cringe. What do you call it?
Ew, it's so cringe.
Um,
I forget. But dude, it's blowing my absolute mind.
Tell me about it. What's
Okay.
like the newest updates? Because we talked about we talked about the telepathy, and the last week we talked about something else with it. What was
She was on Joe Rogan talking about the hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics, yeah,
that's
with
what
that
it was.
girl.
Yeah, language.
Cool.
They
The
know
one thing
languages.
that is, which it has her spinning too, is there's this one boy. I think it starts in like episode 3 or 4. His name is Houston, I believe, and he's from Atlanta. And his story is just insane. Like, grew up severely autistic, non-speaking, nonverbal, and mom had 3 other kids, a terrible husband, and she just grew up thinking that he was basically kind of just like almost like a vegetable. They're just like, there's no way to communicate with him. There's no way.
There's no hope for like real growth or anything. It was just sustaining. Yeah, that's a bummer.
And she separated from her husband and was living alone, working a ton to provide for the kids. And she like came home one day and she said, "This was the turning point of me seeing that there's something like he can connect to, telepathically." Because she said she was so physically, emotionally, everything tired. And she said, I was so tired. I was shaking. Like, and I just sat on the couch and I was just shaking. Like, she just felt terrible. And her son, Houston, walked downstairs, sat at her feet. And he said he's never done that. He was like in his teens, like 16 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Could be getting this wrong too. This is all secondhand. But sat at his feet, and she said that he moved 24/7, never stopped moving.
Yeah.
Sat at his feet, looked her straight in the eyes, which she said never made eye contact ever, and said, "I love you."
Verbally.
And she's
my
never
goodness.
spoken in his life. And she's just like, whoa. And then through that was the beginning, figuring out that he could read people's minds. He could see what they were thinking. And through the whole, what do you call it? They call it speaking. Or no, sorry, spelling. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, like
spelling.
Finger spelling.
It's where they have like the tablet or like whatever for them to communicate.
Yeah.
Figuring out that he's like, I've been in here the whole time. That was the first thing he said. Like, I've been in here the whole time. I've been aware this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And she just broke down crying. And was a terrible thing. He said the worst thing that he felt bad about was that he earlier in the years when they're still living with their dad, that the dad was abusing the daughter and he wasn't able to speak or communicate that this was happening.
But
so
he
he
knew
felt
it the
he
whole
knew
time.
the whole time.
Torture.
Because he could read the dad's mind.
Yeah.
Right.
But it starts with him talking about this place. He says that he goes to this place with other kids, other people that have this ability of telepathy. They said telepathy is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes way deeper.
When you say go to this place while he's sleeping or
No.
mentally?
Mentally. They call it the hill.
Yeah.
He referred to it as the hill. And he says, we meet there, we teach each other things, we pray for each other. And it's like this community of kids that have this ability. They go to the hill. She's like, wow, that's wild. And then met another kid in Atlanta. His name is John Paul, and they're friends. And he referred to it as the hill as well. And continues on as like, this is a wild concept, right? But then it was her, I believe, 5th episode. Before she released these episodes, she was interviewing this other mom in, where was it?
It was like Texas, right? Like
Yeah, it might have been. No, it's Chicago. This kid was from Chicago. And the mom's talking like, yeah, he talks about, he goes to this place called the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
No communication with these other people.
they
So
don't know each
scary.
other at all.
They're
Golly, dude.
using the same reference at calling it the Hill where they go. And they specify it's not like a physical place. It's like not dimensional. It's like it's like a place where their consciousness goes. And they said, but it's like in the shape of a hill. But it's like not dimensional. But this kid from Chicago talks about how he talks to other kids around the world, like one from Denmark, one from Texas, one from like just all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, what does this mean?
Yeah. And is it being tested like them following up with these people, meeting?
Yeah.
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 So like
It's-
they're touching base with all these people and somehow they've never had contact with each other.
Yeah. But it's a part that it's proven is all these kids can speak multiple languages
Mm-hmm.
because all these other kids from all over the world are coming together and they're teaching each other things. An example was it was a 2-year-old non-speaking autistic kid. He could speak 7 languages
Like what?
that he's never been taught before. And he's 2. And it's not him speaking.
How does
when I
science
say
explain
speaking,
this?
it's him doing the words and stuff on the pad or whatever that is 7 different languages.
Have we seen the videos of them doing the pad touching? and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
I got the Patreon thing to telepathy.
And that's all
tapes.
legit.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. That's really incredible. Because
Yeah.
like that, every time I hear the hill, what do you guys think of? The city on a hill.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's immediately what I thought of when
Wow.
it was called the hill. I'm like, oh, that's how Jesus talks about
Yeah.
the kingdom.
I thought about the hills with
Have eyes.
no, the like that show from the early 2000s.
I thought of Jonah Hill.
Oh. Wait, Jonah Hill's there? Why is he there?
I was thinking about like the Tower of Babel and how like language split with like an elevated position. It's just
Yeah.
interesting that it's come back together
Yeah.
in this theory by reassembling in some sort of elevated point.
It's just been messing
Yeah.
like it's
Because
been,
if this is real,
yeah.
if it is true, like then like why aren't we talking about it? What is science at? Like why isn't this on the news? Like
well,
why
that's what I'm stoked about this podcast, and is like more
Yeah.
and more scientists and teachers and professors that are like, okay, well, there's a lot of proof. Like,
Yeah.
these people don't know each other, and they all go to this place, and they all call it the hill, and they can speak multiple languages. They can do abilities that are just insane.
Yeah.
They call them spiritual gifts. And I'm excited because eventually they talk about the majority, if not all of them, they interact with Jesus.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. NDEs and this have so much
Yeah.
crossover.
Exactly.
And they're completely different experiments. Oh, that's so trippy.
Wow.
Now, I have a conspiracy that might tag along to something in the future with this kind of realm. They're saying we can start manipulating dreams now.
Yeah.
What if the government were to ever create the object where they could locate people in different areas, show them images of whatever it is, hoping that like when people start talking, start sharing their experiences and stuff like that, like who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like people. I mean, could you drop in like if the government? This is just the wildest like movie sci-fi idea, but the government wants to plan like some type of attack, right? And or something big's gonna happen, and if people are able to like predict it somehow and start talking about it, and then suddenly it becomes true. Like I don't know. There's
That would be crazy.
there's a lot of power
Well,
in that.
I mean, the CIA has already kind of been doing that since like the 60s. It's like the Stargate thing, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the astral projection, whatever, where they can see
Totally.
where certain things are and where people are.
And then with the Cuba thing, sending certain frequencies.
Yeah.
I mean, to actually cause bodily harm and stuff.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's basically Stranger Things. I mean, the same exact thing where their
Oh, yeah,
kids
have
are
the
spying
kids.
across the universe, the world. They're like spying on Russia
Yeah.
by like going into
Yeah.
those sensory deprivation tanks. But yeah,
They interviewed this one professor from Cambridge, and he was actually knighted by the Queen. He was for his studies and whatnot,
Yeah.
discoveries. But there's one test that he was into this telepathic stuff since the 1950s, which is crazy because that's like,
Yeah.
very taboo back
Mhm.
then, you know. But there was this one scenario where this severely autistic boy who was almost 100% blind, and he went into the optometrist. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And they figured out that he could see through his mother's eyes.
Yeah, like
What?
he could read the thing if he was reading his mom's mind.
Yeah. So his mom was in the room, and there was the letter board,
Yeah.
the E and like all that. They said, "Can you read these lines?" And he got everyone right. And it's like, no, this is impossible because you're like 99.9% blind.
I don't get
And they said, "Can the mother leave the room?" She left, and he couldn't read anything.
Could you
and
see what she was seeing out there?
Yeah. But then they tested it. They did the test even further where they had him do different like cards and stuff like with numbers, letters, colors. Or not him, but the mother who was 5 miles away.
Wow.
And he got everyone right.
So it's nothing to do with like physical proximity. It has everything to do
No,
with
they
like, this
can
mental
put their
space.
consciousness. They can go. They literally cross the world.
That's insane.
Dude,
Yeah.
why isn't like Elon just funding this stuff? It's like, let's figure out what humans can do. Let's just study
but, like,
people.
I don't even know if there's anything to study consciousness though. Like,
And is that why it's not big news? Because like, okay, so what can we do with it?
I would be
But-
curious.
well, I think it's still a little taboo. Like people have a real hard time believing it
yeah,
still.
that like a
Yeah, is it like
Even with proof, it's like, okay, this seems like a trick.
Well,
is it
and
like big phone companies? They're just like, listen, if they can communicate across with just their mind, we're out of the business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When they
yeah,
make-
maybe.
Apple's like, we make no money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big phone.
I think that people there's like probably a painful aspect to it too because they're probably full of regret with like all of these folks that have come and gone that have been non-speaking, autistic, and no contact has ever been made. You know, that would
Yeah.
be really painful. But what I was gonna say was, remind me.
Think, brain.
I'm thinking.
What's the
About-
brain? What's her brain thinking?
Ew.
Stop
I
it.
don't want to say it.
I can't think of it. Forget it. It was important.
One of the, his name was John Paul, I believe, in Atlanta. When he was asked, like, how do you feel about people understanding that, like, you have telepathy and other kids like you have telepathy, and he was so excited to let people know that they have these abilities. And one scenario I heard today was this boy who was severely autistic and he could speak, but it was very hard for him to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And by the age like 17 or something, he chose not to speak because he said that inhibited his
Wow.
telepathy.
Abilities.
It
Yeah.
goes back to the
He
senses
said
thing. Yeah.
all the function that your brain has to go through for moving your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your teeth, your breath, and like just everything. He said that inhibited my telepathy from being able to fully work.
It makes you wonder if like these silent monks in
That's
the
what-
hills.
yeah, that's what I was
was that
literally
your
just
thing?
thinking.
If they ever get that ability. I remember what I was gonna say. Does she ever in her episodes? I would be curious if they did a brain scan on
They
one of
have.
these kids. Okay.
Yeah.
While they're using it to see what parts of the brain illuminate.
Yeah, for a lot of them, it's hard because of like sensory overload.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these tests have to be pretty isolated because for some of them, if there's multiple people in the room, they can't. They said they literally hear everyone's thoughts at once.
Wow.
So it's not even just their caregivers that they're able to read.
No, yeah. Some of them it's just like, but some of them it just starts off as a caregiver or a mom or a dad, but it looks like it progresses to where anybody.
Wow.
And so it's actually, they talk about some teachers that are now coming out and talking about, they said, well, we couldn't speak out about it because we'd be fired and be like, you're crazy for even thinking that this kid is telepathic. But one teacher, she literally had to sometimes tell her student to stop reading her mind because she could hear his voice in her head.
Oh, how do you not?
And
Dude.
so it was
Freak
a
out.
permission base. It's like, you can talk to me now. And she was the kid was able to talk to the teacher in the head.
But she's not saying that. Like she can literally, she's just thinking, okay,
He
speak to
said
me.
his voice was in her head speaking.
Goodness, dude.
Did she tell the parents?
I think eventually, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like, hey, your kid's talking to my brain.
But even when she was at home too,
oh my gosh, she'd be like, "Hey, what are you having for dinner?"
pretty much. And
Hey,
like,
I have a question on question number 13.
but the thing is too, he was incredible. Like they just have this understanding of like boundaries too, because she says you have to ask my permission.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't just. And he said, okay,
Can't just waddle into someone's brain without consent, dude.
yeah,
So
Relax.
it has to be deliberate. Then there's like, it's not just like you're flooded with.
yeah. I think so.
They can turn
I
it
mean, I
on
think
and
it's just
off.
like talking to like us talking to Andrew, you know, it's just like you can direct the conversation, but if there's a ton of people talking, you can
you
still have a
overstimulated.
conversation.
Wow.
But if you're trying to hear one person talk and it's just like a bunch of people talking,
well
you know,
articulated, Dad.
Dude,
You're
I'm just
so right.
thanks, I'm smart.
I'm just imagining having a conversation like telepathically in a room, and then all of it, you can't you're not laughing in your mind, so you would
Yeah.
verbally laugh. I think that's just hilarious. Like if we're in heaven and we're all just speaking telepathically, telling jokes,
Yeah.
and then we're just laughing constantly,
Yeah, that'd
it
be
would look
hilarious.
insane.
I was fascinated by this whole thing too. It's just like looking back at like if you read the Gospels and how like Jesus says that he knew their thoughts or
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
knew it was in their heart. It's like
Dude, yeah.
that's the ability.
Yeah, dude.
It's not made up. It's like it's like almost like a higher power or something or
The
higher
character of
form
God.
speak.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Then you
dude.
think we talked about this like before, but like the interactions people have with like aliens and like
Yeah.
stuff like that of them speaking telepathically too. It's just like, well, then what does that mean? You
Yeah,
know,
and
it's
now,
like
now that it's being factually shown, like this is a real deal. It's like, okay, these stories don't sound as crazy as it. I mean, because it's like,
yeah.
yeah, we should just accept that it's real now. Like it should be a normal thing.
Yeah, Houston's mom, she grew up Christian and left the faith, was basically agnostic. And since she has found out about Houston's abilities, she's fully come back to Christ. And like,
Yeah,
it
dude.
makes way more sense now.
Yeah, how could you not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like pure denial at that point. It's like that's especially your own kid.
Yeah.
God, dude, imagine the "I love you" like that.
Oh my gosh! Like change your
Healed.
life.
Oh yeah, for real, complete 180. That's crazy.
Yeah.
dude.
But she felt a lot of regret though too, right? Because he had been trapped basically, and
Yeah. Not able to communicate at all, which he could have been the whole time
Yeah.
if she knew like
Which
the
is-
resources.
we're living in a time of transition, you know, because even where we're at right now is leagues away from where we were 30 years ago
Mhm.
with children with autism, you know. And so I think in our lifetimes and then in our children's lifetimes, we're going to see such a expanse of resources
Yeah.
for people like that.
And that's the thing. We can't hold on to that guilt. Like if we truly do want to make change, if this stuff is legit, then it's like we may have not a cure, but like something like that help them communicate
Yeah.
with their families. And if they know that it's safe to do so and that they're not alone, and like I just can't imagine the torture knowing stuff about your family that you wish you could tell the police,
Yeah.
but you're in your body and you can't. Like that's
Yeah.
so horrifying.
And not only will these people, that's a gift. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
consider
That's
like
the thing. I didn't mean cure. That's like that's
no,
it's total
no, but I
gift,
get what
yeah.
you're saying. But like, I mean, 30 years ago, that's exactly what, you know. But now they're
Yeah.
going to be consider when this stuff is more acknowledged. Like,
yeah.
what kind of jobs these people could have? Look at now, I'm exploiting them.
Well, you know, it's a scarier thought is how they could be exploited.
I know,
like,
true,
by, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
government agencies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
actually,
know?
never mind. Elon Musk, don't fund this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't do that, dude.
No, but they could be in positions of authority. They're experts on something that we have nothing about. You
Yeah.
know?
Dude, I want. This is a perfect military movie, dude. You hired this one guy that can read the minds of the terrorists and stuff like that.
Oh my
God.
gosh!
War.
Yeah.
Only if
time,
you want
baby.
to. Only if you want to.
I'm
No one's
pretty
making-
sure in future episodes they talk about how some kids can actually communicate with animals too.
What?
And
Dope.
which the guy from Cambridge, the professor, he talks about. He did a study on animals and their telepathic abilities.
Mhm.
And one of the tests that he did, which was fascinating, he did it with like a lot of people, but dogs. The majority of dogs are aware of their owners coming home before they get home, because they can like connect consciously with their owner
Dude, yeah.
that they're coming home. So they did a test, and it was like a 5-mile range. These dogs knew that their owner was coming home.
Wow. Yeah, you already know because you and Pico speak.
Dude, I'm telling you, there was this one time where I was literally sitting all the way across the room. She was laying down. She was asleep for the past hour. And then I was just like, I just got done, finished with something. I closed my laptop, and then I was like, in my head, maybe I should go for a walk with Pico. And then no joke, and then I'm not even looking at her. I just see her head look over and just turn. And it was these scary, and then she got up and she walked over to me. And I'm like, I don't like this.
Did you think walk?
I agree with that.
What is Pico's voice?
She's Pico, so I just imagine she's just like this old Mexican lady.
Yeah, Hispanic.
Yeah, so she's my little senorita. Every time I say siesta, she runs in the bed. It's perfect.
Oh, speaking of running into bed,
And siestas.
we watched the Fall of Ruby Franke.
Oh,
Frankie.
Frankie. Oh my goodness.
Andrew, you have to watch that.
Andrew,
Or don't, because it's brutal.
What's it about?
let me take it.
All right.
Mom influencer, like the original mom influencer,
Family vlogger.
family
Okay.
vlogger, Ruby Franke, mom of 6. Her channel was called 8 Passengers, and every nightmare you can imagine taking place.
Mom
She-
of 6.
Mom of 6, 8 passengers, so husband and wife are the other 2.
Well, the driver wouldn't be a passenger, right?
It's not
It'd
very
be the
clever. She's
driver.
not super
Okay.
clever.
Okay.
Um,
Hung up already.
and it gets super good. They're part of the Mormon Church.
Do we need like every time you say that? Do we
I
just
need
need
a-
organs?
I need a butt.
It's like a little tick of yours.
I know. And yeah, I mean, basically like exploitation of children in the way that they were like, she was using them to proper channel up, and they were not willing participants. And Josh, you take it over now.
Okay.
This lady was off the deep end.
Yeah,
dude.
she was spooky.
She became just completely obsessed with just performing in front of the camera. And like when the kids, she's like, oh, what do you think of this? And they're like, yeah, it's nice. And they have all the footage, like hundreds of hours.
Okay.
Like the uncut.
Yeah, the uncut stuff. And she would like do the camera. She's like, just pretend to be happy.
So this is the mother performing something, not the kids.
No,
the mother, but they're, her
because it was all
employees.
family vlogging, but
Right.
She
for her,
runs
it was
it.
all fake.
Yeah.
Because she's like, just pretend to be happy. And like you could see very
Yeah,
early
yeah,
on,
yeah.
it's like, okay, she's cuckoo.
Obsessed with that image.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
perfection.
But then she meets this lady,
Jody Hildebrandt.
Jody Hildebrandt, and she's a psychologist, psychiatrist.
She's a psychologist, but then you find out later she actually is not.
Her
educated.
license was revoked.
Revoked.
Revoked. I'm getting there. Someone read my mind.
Okay.
But she basically just bad news.
okay.
She would do a lot of like marriage counseling style stuff and it was like Connections was the name of it. But really, she was just like a really burnt, hurt woman, divorced, and
the fake therapist.
a fake therapist.
So this is a sociopath meets a psychopath.
Yeah.
That controls the psychopath.
Actually, exactly.
Okay.
And the psychiatrist lady, she hates men.
Like literally hates men.
Hates men.
Yeah, and she basically, kind of long story short, the what's her face, Ruby, she gets really close to Jody, the psychiatrist, and Jody lives like 4 hours away. But then she's like, all of a sudden, like having these like
Spiritual attacks
where she was like acting like full on like demon possessed, like I have her, and like doing all this stuff.
like,
and
she's
it's like,
mine.
She's mine. Like really freaky stuff. And you're just like, is she faking it? I don't know, but I don't even know if she was faking it truthfully.
It
Yeah,
really,
so
it
where we
really
get to.
doesn't.
Spoiler alert for all this. It's been in the news, but the documentary is awesome. Docuseries. Trilogy.
One of the best, they say.
So she ends up saying, Ruby's like, Jody needs to move in with us. And so she moves in, and then just that's when it started to go boom, downhill quick.
Yeah.
She would have these demon possession things every night and stuff. And so then Ruby goes and starts staying in Jody's room because she needs to be with her when she has these manifestations.
Who's having the just so I'm
Jody,
sure
the
I've got it,
psychiatrist,
is having the manifestations.
Yeah.
And then the mom of 6 is her support person.
Okay.
And then it just started getting really weird.
They kick the 17-year-old boy out because he has a sin they believe is causing these manifestations. They
Yeah,
kick their 17-year-old boy out of the house.
He has to go find a place to live. And
To
she
nowhere.
says, you can
Go
never
figure it out.
contact me again. You can never reach out to me again. The mom says that to him.
And then it happens. Then Jody, in her seminars or whatever, she's like, separation is critical for marriage.
And she starts like verbally abusing the husband who goes to these weekly seminars.
In front of tons of people.
Like his
berating them.
neighbors, his friends.
We're getting a little scattered. Let's hone it in real quick. So Jody then starts preaching on this whole thing of like separation is critical for marriages, starts berating Ruby's husband in front of people, and then convinces Ruby that she has to separate with her husband in order to save the marriage. And so kicks him out of the house. All the children are still at the house except the
Except the
17-year-old
one, yeah.
and the oldest daughter who's at college.
Okay.
And
What a weird home to come back to.
not allowed to contact her at all.
Yeah. None
So
of the big kids.
cut to a year from that.
Okay.
He has not spoken to her in a year, and he's been living in turmoil because he's like, I'll do anything to fix our marriage. Gets a call, finds out that his youngest son and youngest daughter are in police custody, and they are malnourished.
Like CPC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Malnourished, and they have lacerations on their body, duct tape on their ankles, duct tape on their wrists. And turns out Jody and Ruby fully believe that their 2 youngest children were demon possessed. And so were physically, mentally, spiritually, everything abusing them to cast these demons out for who knows how long, months. And then the husband finds out about this. He doesn't believe it at first. He's like, there's no way. Because also Ruby preempted, like she called, that's how he found out.
She called Kevin and she's like, hey, there are these lies coming out. The police have our kids, and then I just can't even imagine what they're lying to them about right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, they are demon possessed. But they were so part of this crazy radical sect of whatever, Mormonism, whatever it was, plus this psychology thing, that they were like, that demon possession became a very real and like it was happening a lot in their life threat.
Yeah.
And so he was like bought in. He's like, no way, they're demon possessed or whatever immediately. But he also, you could tell that she had been mentally and emotionally abusing him probably from the beginning because.
And what kind of man was he to ever be like vulnerable to that sort of thing? So he's got issues from the get go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and even now after this, he's
Yeah.
like, I love her. And
That's the thing. He was completely brainwashed. Like he did not believe when the police were like laying out all the evidence
Yeah.
against her. He had been gone away for a year, working on himself, being like in a terrible way. And he's looking at it and he's saying, she didn't do this.
So
It
Jody,
took him so long.
Jody, the therapist, is the only one who is having manifestations. I want to go back to that, right?
Well, then
Or-
it stopped, and then the
And-
2 small children started having them.
supposedly. They're not on film having the
No.
manifestations.
No.
I mean, it was a lie.
Okay.
Yeah. But long
But
story
the
short,
mother never did.
no.
Okay.
No, but I do think that she was influenced by something terrible because I
Yeah.
mean she was to begin with had horrible
It
behaviors.
was creepy.
but-
It seemed like a very physical manifestation of evil, though,
Well-
because like when she was being interrogated by police, they're asking her questions, and she's just doing this.
So I mean, a sociopath.
You never saw
they
her
don't,
like that.
Sociopaths don't have emotional
Yeah, it was-
inflection. But
Long
what?
story short, she went to prison with
Yeah.
Jody, and they both have 30 years in prison each.
Dang.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So demons have existed longer than a single human life on this earth right now. And so my question is, what torment did that demon endure in someone else's body? Or was it just that it knows what's coming and it's lashing out now? You know, we always talk about how like evil, like is scorned and acts out because of that. And
Mhm.
so it's just like, why would it do that? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if it is, she may, you know, who's saying that her faking couldn't be literal possession?
No, I agree.
No,
You know
that's
what
what
I-
I'm
no.
saying.
Yeah,
There,
I think-
there seemed like there was a true evilness, but instead of it affecting the children or like them being possessed, I would say it was Ruby and Jody that were being tormented and being told all these lies by this evil
Yeah.
because they were hurting. Like Ruby in her journal, she wrote everything down too, all the
Yeah, she recorded-
abuse that she
yeah.
did to the children. She wrote it down, and she wrote, I will try to get this demon out of you, even if it kills you. That's what she wrote down.
Yeah, she wrote, I will not feed a demon.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? She was literally sick in the head. Like, that's
Yeah.
something like that's a lot of that's I don't know. It's kind of weird line.
Anyway, this is a bad feelings documentary.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the same crap that just happened up the road here.
yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, that and she was an
It's
RN.
Anyways, that was fun, right?
Yeah,
that was
I
really
won't.
good.
I won't be watching that.
It's
I think you should. Yeah.
I get. You think you get worked up hearing him tell stories? Like, it affects me deeply. It'll ruin me for days.
Yeah, it
like I have to like. What's the verse? Like, whatever's noble, whatever's lovely, whatever is admirable. Think about these things. I have to like live that, because if I lock in on anything else, I think I've got too much in me that wants to fix it,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
it'll spiral my brain.
That's fair.
I thought it was important to see though, of just like this obsessiveness with like just social media and stuff, and like how it truly, I think you just get blinded by this, like, what's my job?
Yeah.
You know? And so I start neglecting my kids or treating them poorly and stuff.
And you start seeing those paychecks come in from those sponsors, like she was saying. It's like, yeah, like it became a
Making
business.
millions.
Yeah.
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 And that's when her deep end really started. Was she was making a video and the son piped in, and the channel discovered that she had taken away his bed in his room for 7 months. He was sleeping in the basement on a beanbag for 7 months for something he acted out about.
She let that out on the video.
And
Like,
immediately they're like, red flag, child abuse. And she basically gets canceled and like loses all of her sponsorships and stuff like that. So she takes this deep dive of like, I'm this rock solid mom that believes in whatever. And it really gets super nasty and abusive.
it's wild.
Yeah.
I hated it so much.
I
Yeah.
know.
But it was like one of those things, the twists and turns. And I love that the daughter's now like, she's like a big campaigner for anti-family vlogging,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is great.
Speaking of family vlogging, though, don't go anywhere, and we will talk about something happier after this. Okay. You didn't even react to anything anymore.
Stickers. 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 Rolling round Sunday.com/stickers down. Stick 'em on anything, your dog or cats. Stick 'em on your car or your big old hat. Stickers. Stickers! Stickers!
SundayCool.com/stickers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
I love vegetables. I'm very pro vegetable.
Rank your vegetables right now if you're so pro. Also, we all saw you hit yourself in the face with the headphone there.
Did you see it?
Everyone saw
I
it.
think
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Slow-mo.
Because I didn't even process that I did that. I think I'm constantly hitting myself. First, look at this.
Oh, yeah, surprise.
What is-
prejudice
oh,
shirt.
no way. That's dope.
A fan named Aubrey sent it to me.
No way.
And she crocheted me a bandana thing.
That's awesome.
How sick is that? It literally has the hand part where he's like,
That's, yeah. That's great. We have
That's
some
a
pretty
cool
great
shirt.
fans. we got sent a cutting board. I got one sent specifically for me, and we got one for Nab. Pretty dope. I'll try to send you the name of the guy.
hey, I'll tell you.
I got a deer. I think I'm pretty set.
Yeah, that's a winner. No, this is the best thing ever.
That is pretty cool.
And I will say, if you guys ever want to be,
You get everything,
nice-
Josh.
Yeah,
Don't.
You don't whine about it. No, you got everything.
you get the most portraits done.
Someone sent you $10,000 last week and says just because.
Yeah, so.
So I don't want money. I want a gift. Also, speaking of gifts, could we should upload the video of Lily riding on that go-kart.
Dude,
Dude, that was straight
Yeah.
out of a movie.
Speaking of family vlogging,
dude, that's so funny. So I got Ada this go-kart. She just turned 4. And and
It goes 70 miles an hour.
It's
I think its top
insane.
is 12. But the governor on it, the governor slow it down. I have it maxed out and it still flies.
Really?
So I got to do something like cable on the pedal or whatever.
Put it on a big treadmill.
But dude, she was pretty timid at first because like when you gas it, it goes.
Yeah.
And we're like, go slow down. And she's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man.
Dang it.
And so we went inside and we're sitting there and probably like an hour. And she goes, I want to ride the go-kart.
Atta girl.
I said, okay, let's go. And so I switched helmets because that dirt bike helmet, she said she was complaining like she couldn't see.
Yeah.
So I just gave her a bike helmet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll transition into the bigger helmet because
Yeah.
that's way safer. But I'm like, Lo, why don't you just ride with her? And dude, she was gunning it.
Was she steering well and everything?
Dude, so
yeah,
well.
she's
Dude,
really mechanically
Dude,
smart.
she can just weave it too.
That's the best.
And Lou's just screaming, slow down, slow down.
It literally seems like
And I
something
kept
out of
going,
like a
"Go
coming
fast,
of age movie.
fast." It was so fun.
she
So
was
fun.
laughing at me at my
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah, because she's like, now.
Did you see
it.
that screenshot I did of the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, the close up.
Dude.
It's so good. Dude.
So good.
Very fun.
Very fun.
That girl's gonna have the wildest memories growing up.
Yeah. Speaking of wild. Question corner
Corner with Lily, where the questions are fresh out of mind.
Okay. I want to know, if you were in the zombie apocalypse, what would your weapon of choice be? And recall that resources are finite. And this question is in honor of The Last of Us coming out this month, season 2.
Next month,
Next month?
April.
I have
You're
my
a
answer.
dirty liar.
You're a liar.
You're a liar.
What?
You said it was coming out like 2 weekends ago. The Last of Us.
It comes out in April.
You didn't know that.
I did.
Anyway,
All right, this is a good question.
resources
I
are
have
finite.
my answer, but it's so good. So you guys got to do yours
Weapon
first.
of choice. So you're thinking you're carrying around this everywhere. You
Yeah.
don't want like a gun, probably.
I mean, mine's obvious.
What?
I've
A
been
bow?
shooting. Yeah, I've been shooting a bow.
A bow. Okay.
You can make arrows. You don't run out of ammo, really.
Give me some ideas. What are some of the best ones out there?
I want like a
flamethrower?
spear. I want a spear.
Spear would be cool. Lightsaber. It's gotta be real, right?
Oh, a tank.
A tank.
What were you going to say?
Iron Man suit.
Iron Man suit.
That doesn't count. It's
Why
gotta
not?
be
You
real.
said it
It's
was-
gotta be real.
You said it was limitless.
You said. Well, she
I said resources are finite.
She said nothing.
Oh.
The
to whatever-
opposite of
Yeah, you're right.
limitless.
She said nothing.
Well, then I find the Iron Man suit.
When I said lightsaber, she said nothing, and then you said Iron Man suit. He built it in a cave.
Okay, so
With a box
a
of
realistic
scraps.
weapon then.
Yeah, realistic.
This is a stupid question.
I hate this game. Okay. If I don't know why I'm
Thor's hammer.
I don't know why I'm gravitating towards just like 2 like metal boxing gloves with spikes on it.
Oh.
I don't know. That's the first thing I pictured when like personal weapon. So I think that's what I'm gonna stick with. Just
Dang.
like like Hulk hands,
That
but
seems,
for war.
that seems inconvenient, Andy. How are you going to carry that in your backpack?
I'm gonna wear them all the time. I'm walking through the woods with just metal fists.
You obviously don't want a gun. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
no.
Correct.
bullets, you're out.
Yeah.
When you're out, you're out.
Hey, do a sword maybe.
And you said
What about a
flamethrower,
hatchet?
but gas is a precious resource too.
Man, you can get gas anyway.
Just drill down the ground.
Just drill down the ground. You get gas. Oh man.
But remember, you also have to be able to decapitate. Zombies can only die from decapitation.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. It is a zombie apocalypse.
That's true.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
You
Ed.
totally make a valid point. Their heads need to come off.
Maybe a samurai
That changes everything.
sword.
I can't do the
That's-
fist thing now. All right,
Yeah, maybe a
samurai sword. That's where my first guess would like I can't swing
What
it.
about just like a really powerful like DEW laser?
Mm.
That'd be cool.
You have to have
Yeah.
power,
Yeah,
don't
that'd
you?
be cool.
I'll create my own power. Solar power.
I want a whip with a.
Yeah, why I can't? So I don't have. All my answers are dumb.
It just doesn't. It's not plausible, Joshua.
What do you?
Well, you
What's
said
your
a
choice?
Spear?
Generally, you have to have hand-to-hand combat with these zombies.
That's dumb.
I would take a whip with a guillotine blade on the end of it.
Nice.
Guillotine.
So I would just whip people from like 30 feet away, and it would just.
Wow.
How's it pronounced? Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Guillotine?
How are the
Guillotine.
little
Adrian?
weird French people say it?
Yeah. It's a guillotine.
More like I don't want to say it.
Okay. I didn't even know where you're going. I trust it though.
Okay, I
All
picked
right,
samurai
thanks.
sword.
Samurai sword. You have to learn. You have to know how to cut those. I mean, like use them though.
It's got to be really sharp.
But it's
And
got
I-
to be at the right angle.
A bear.
It's all about the person. Have you not seen those videos of like them
No,
using the
not a
same
bear.
sword and like they can't cut through it, and then the one guy comes up, and he's actually like he's good, and then he does it one slice, and it's just completely perfect.
I'll tell you, I'm probably got a lot of time on my hands in the zombie apocalypse, so I can train.
That's why I think a hatchet for you, like a really dope
Oh,
hatchet, like a
true.
double-edged, double-sided hatchet.
And you look
Yeah.
like Gimli.
Oh, you already do.
Oh.
That would be cool, Don.
And my hatchet.
All right. I'm going with Iron Man suit.
Are you sticking with just a regular bow that you have now, or are you gonna think of something cooler?
A crossbow would be pretty dope.
I think my bow's pretty cool.
But zombie apocalypse.
I mean, I could go into like describe the arrows. There are these they're like 3-inch long arrowheads that are bladed on double bevel, so each side is a knife. So you always have a knife.
And then make them catch on
Double
fire.
beveled.
Fire.
No, I want to
Sounds
keep
like
them.
a curse.
Double beveled gumdrop.
It's a tongue twister.
Andrew, hit us with that beat.
Yo, what's up? Yeah.
Andrew got a
Yes, he does work
Andrew got a root.
Yes, he does.
He's gonna show us. We might cringe a little, cover our eyes, maybe even gag more.
It's on the way.
Help is on the way, dear.
I feel like it's insulting to say it, but Lily, don't click it.
Oh my gosh.
134
I'm
episodes
capable.
in.
I'm capable.
Oh, I've seen this.
Oh, but
Gosh.
no, you haven't.
Okay.
This is the context for I'm trying to think what can I say that sets this up. We've all seen this video. It's quite disgusting, but
Worms.
you have never seen it under this much detail.
Okay.
Here we go.
Very good.
Did you get it about words? Oh, yeah, 3, 2, 1.
What on earth is that? This is a bear
Hey,
infected with tapeworms. Tapeworms are parasitic worms that live inside the host's intestines, feeding off of their nutrients. Bears particularly, because they often get infected by eating raw meat or fish that carry tapeworm larvae. Once inside, the larvae grow
Wait
into
for
adult
it.
tapeworms.
Wait for it.
Over 60% of brown bears have
Wait for
tapeworm
it.
eggs in their feces.
Looks like
These
a
parasites
parachute.
can infect most mammals, including humans.
Oh, no. Andrew.
Nope, I'm not going to show you that. This is a photo of a tapeworm taken under a microscope. Nikon did a contest and this won 4th place.
Should have lost.
This is the face of a tapeworm.
Gosh.
That can't be real.
That is real. That actually won.
That's a demon.
Bro. That's not okay. That's a real face.
Yep.
That was good.
I hated every part of that.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh. I just feel him. I'm going to go to get tested now.
My cousin had a tapeworm one time.
That was that face.
Oh my
Maybe many.
gosh.
So that
Maybe
comes from
many.
raw food.
Like
raw
sushi,
fish and
where they
meat?
say like, hey,
Oh,
you know the
that's a
warning
sushi.
on sushi when it's like
When it comes to raw food,
consuming raw or undercooked.
is that what you're telling me? Not cooked. What the? Okay. All right. No more sushi for me. Well, here goes sushi. There goes my Friday plans. Oh.
I hated that.
Andrew, gross. Gross.
I
Honey,
felt like
Japan's off the menu.
I put that together. I was like, I can't just show you the face of the tapeworm. We have to remember how horrible they can be.
I can't believe that's real. I'm going to have to fact check that.
Look it up.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to.
Speaking of disgusting, do you want to hear this song that has disgusting lyrics?
I don't think so.
They're not disgusting. It's a bad. It rocked my world this week. Andy knows about it.
Do I?
You remember from Little Rascals that song that goes, "Short people got, short people got."
No.
Flagged.
Hold on, we can't.
Every time you say flag, we don't get flagged.
That's
by the
why
way.
I
So,
keep
yeah,
saying it.
that's-
That's why I keep saying
Hold
it.
on.
This is insane. So the guy who sings "You've Got a Friend in Me."
Josh, move over so I can see her face.
Short people got no reason to live.
I actually.
Oh! Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Wait a second.
He
no,
got
What are you
so
doing?
mad that
It
you
just
didn't
uncovered-
see.
It just
Dude.
uncovered.
Stop!
What was that, man?
He's so
Lily, are you okay? Are
aggressive.
you okay?
Yes.
Golly.
I
dude, that
actually,
was-
though, I know the song, not from sound, but because my mom talks about it all the time.
The lyrics are terrible.
Yeah. I know.
I wish you would have known the song though.
I don't know the song
It's
or
like
the
short
lyrics.
people have no reason to live, right?
Yes.
It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
then one of their lines says, "They got they got little baby legs. They stand so low. You got to pick them up just to say hello. They got little cars that go beep beep beep. They got little voices going peep peep peep. They got
What is-
grubby little fingers and dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every single time. Yeah, we don't want no short people around here."
Why did you
I
release
know-
this song?
I know the exact person I'm sending that song once we're done filming.
It was funny.
Paige.
As soon as Josh heard about it, he was really offended.
She's short, right?
I mean, how tall are you?
5'3".
Oh, I've got you beat by an inch.
She's 5'4".
Uh-huh.
Shorty.
Shout out Logan.
Anyways, I tried to look it up. I'm like, why did he write this? And Randy Newman, the only thing I could see is that he wrote it as satirical for
Like
Prejudice.
prejudice.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who's gonna get that?
children? Yeah, it just sounds horrible.
At the end, it's like, actually, short people got multiple reasons to live.
That would be so great.
But no, he's like, we don't want them around here.
Yeah, get 'em out.
They got grubby little hands and they have
And
dirty,
dirty
minds.
And they go peep, peep, peep.
Yeah, they go peep, peep, peep.
Who hurt you, Randy Newman?
That's
Dude,
What,
crazy.
terrible.
what small person hurt you?
The Little Rascals as a whole is nuts.
Oh, okay. I thought you. What do you mean nuts?
Like, there's a lot of bad stuff in there.
First of all, no.
Yes.
It's a classic movie.
Love that movie. The He-Man Woman Hater Club. Yeah. So terrible song.
Kind of crazy that Disney
Yeah.
like literally has him like write so much music and he's got that just out there. Like, it's so weird. It's like, I don't understand the audience for it.
No.
I mean, like, short people can also listen. Like,
Yeah,
they can hear
they
this
can hear
music as
this.
well. Like, they're fully aware of this song.
Yeah.
Too short to listen. No.
Ain't got no ears.
They
It's like, no, they do.
Everything you're saying is just mean.
It's for no reason.
Like, imagine if someone wrote a song like that today. They would just be like, it would be just canceled so quick.
Yes, but it's like if it was under the.
Let's try it.
I don't know if he did comedy music back then, but it's like it didn't seem like he did. I don't know.
No,
But it's like if you're a comedy artist, I get that. But golly,
yeah.
he's got a vendetta, dude.
This
Mm-mm.
time change caught me in a bind.
Yeah.
For real, though.
I can't stand this time change.
Did anybody even know it was happening?
Yeah.
I did.
I did not.
I mean, because I'm an adult.
Thanks
and
for
I
the
Yeah.
heads up, by
Yeah.
the way.
figured you could handle it.
I
What?
said thanks for the heads up. He knew about it.
yeah. What?
He's gatekeeping these time changes.
Bet you run through too, huh?
Sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
Nineveh.
No.
Was,
No, I have not.
Was Jonah supposed to go to Nineveh or Tarshish?
Nineveh.
Never. He wanted to go to Tarshish.
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 Want to go to Tarshish, eh?
Yeah, I want to go to Tarshish. Right from God, you see. Big stone, throw me overboard. Maybe they won't stop.
Yeah, this story, the more I got into it, the more I'm like, well, this is wild and wild and wild. This just gets wild.
Dude, this is crazy, dude.
Let me tell you about the lost library
Oh, it is.
of Nineveh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so the king, so it's called Ashurban. Oh, gosh, I've been practicing all day. Ashurbanipal.
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 Okay.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh. So he made Nineveh the capital. And it was from 668 to 627 BC. And this dude, Ashurbanipal, was just not a good guy.
Okay.
Not a good king.
Very evil.
Okay.
And they said he actually perfected psychological warfare. And the things he did were just atrocious, like torturing and just terrible things that he did. And they said that his palace was lined with art of like torture scenes and like stuff like that. So this dude was like whack.
Hardcore.
But he was obsessed with understanding everything and knowledge of everything. And so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid 19th century by a British,
The city wasn't discovered?
No, this library.
The library, got it.
Yeah. So Ashurbanipal, king of Neocern, where is it? Rediscovered by a British archaeologist, Austin Henry Layard, in the mid 19th century. And he found over 30,000 tablets and fragments of tablets.
Jeez.
Written in Sumerian and Babylonian languages. And that's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
In the Library of Nineveh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And what's fascinating, so this library was huge, and they suspect that it held over 100,000 of these tablets, these clay tablets. And who knows how many more thousands of different scrolls and stuff.
Like, where's it at then?
In modern day Iraq, where Nineveh.
Well, you said that there was 33,000 found, but they say there was up to...
They speculate.
Okay, so it still could be underneath? Or
underneath, they've only excavated not the entire place where the library could have been.
Wow.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find it rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history, because it talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
And the Epic of Gilgamesh, that's where we got that. But then there's just thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology.
Wow.
That they said in today's standards is still
advanced.
Very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy is Ashurbanipal, he said that he claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. And this is a quote from him. These are 2 quotes from him.
Okay.
He said, I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing. This is 600 BC.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I, Ashurbanipal, learned the wisdom of Nabu. I have read the secret tablets of the gods.
The Watchers?
I mean,
golly, dude.
But so that got me thinking, I'm like, well, this is crazy. Like, he's talking about, he said he was a divine king.
Yeah.
And that the Assyrian gods are the true mighty gods. No other god can stand against the Assyrian gods.
Sure.
I looked up, I'm like, what's the context of like within scripture? And it was Nahum and Zephaniah both prophesied. They didn't name him explicitly, but in the same time frame, these 2 prophets talked about the destruction of Nineveh and the destruction of the Assyrian Empire.
Wow.
And so it seems like, if we want to get like conspiratorial, right?
Which we always do.
Which we don't like to do.
No, I mean, hardly ever we like to dip our toe in those waters, but why not?
But he was highly obsessed with attaining this knowledge and building a library to host this knowledge. Instead, he received these tablets from the gods, and was just evil and was mocking Yahweh, the God of gods, right? The Lord of Lords. And then all of a sudden, God's like, nope, you're done. And so this library is built, and then the Babylonian Empire came and destroyed the library, burnt it to a crisp.
Why are we doing this?
But what's fascinating is that the fact that these were on clay tablets, the fire actually preserved them.
Wow.
It's like a big old kiln.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why we were able to find 30,000 of these tablets. And they said, like, only, I forget the number, but like only 10% of these tablets have been deciphered.
Wow. Because Sumerian is so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's,
some.
since the 1800s, there's still thousands, tens of thousands of these tablets that were found that we have no idea what they say.
Untranslated.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Why don't we just put our best people on it?
You know what we should do is put the folks from the telepathy tapes on it.
Dude,
For real.
I wonder if they're, that
Dude,
would be
I'm telling you.
insane. But that's the thing, AI now, that's just going to make it so easier.
I know.
Quantum computers, we're going to have all this stuff translated in no time, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'd imagine they would make that a priority.
But you think about it, man. It's just like, so this, we're talking about 600 BC. This library had potentially 100,000 tablets, manuscripts of ancient knowledge. They've only been able to read 10, it's like 10% or 20%. They're like, wow, there's history in this that we've never known about.
Yeah.
And like, they're so civilized. They had this knowledge of astrology and all this crazy, crazy stuff, military campaigns. And then it's like, they didn't know about it since the 600s, right? And then you have the Library of Alexandria, which was built in the 200 BC era.
When was that burnt?
That's a good question. I know it was built in 200 BC, or maybe it was burnt in 200 BC.
Either way.
Yeah. But, and that had, they speculate up to 700,000 scrolls and manuscripts of ancient history, knowledge, all that stuff.
Now, why are they burning it? I guess it's just common to take, just you remove everything. But golly, is there not,
It's just pillage and plunder.
Power in that? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy.
But it's like, dude, imagine, like, we talk about if there was a worldwide blackout of the internet, if it was just erased, how much would be gone?
Yeah.
Of our history, just everything.
The stuff that's like logged onto the internet now. And it's like, no one's using books anymore, or a lot of people aren't. So if we had a blackout, then it'd be like, well, what happened during the 2020 elections, or like what happened in the for the NASA space program? It's like, well, we probably wouldn't know.
I'll just look at my phone. Imagine they erase the text, all of that. Like, everything just blacks out.
So that compared to these two libraries that host hundreds of thousands of documents about the ancient world.
Invaluable knowledge, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The fact that he said, though, that he has the tablets of these gods, and like they said he was a ruthless warlord, basically, and like he was so intelligent. He could speak and write in multiple languages, and he believed that he was this divine presence of these Assyrian gods.
Yeah.
And it's like, God's like, no.
No, thank you.
But then you think like, okay, well, God, was it like a two-hand thing of like, he was this evil king and proclaiming his gods over God? And to God, was he also like, these tablets, I don't want you people to read these. Like, this is knowledge stuff that I don't want you guys to be in contact with.
Stuff that should have been removed, never written down. Yeah, never. Yeah.
It's just interesting.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, I just love that. I don't know why. It was like 2 weeks ago. I was on a map and I just saw the city of Nineveh on the map. And I'm like, I got to see this. And it's just Google image, like just the street view. It's hilarious. I'm like, it's crazy that such an epic story from the Bible, and there's just like restaurants and little markets right on the beach and everything like that.
Wow.
Like literally where Jonah was probably spit out on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's incredible. It's just nuts how much we just move on past. I want to go there so bad, dude.
I know.
Let's go to Iraq right now.
Oh gosh.
It's in modern day Mosul, Iraq, whatever you say it.
Yeah, and Babylon is there too.
The Arabian Nights,
Arabian day,
the lost library of Nineveh
up in flames.
is under a McDonald's now. Yeah, I thought that was a very fun. I've never heard of that in my life.
That's crazy.
No, I love that story though.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I don't know why it's not talked about more. I mean, because like the Epic of Gilgamesh,
It's humongous.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's studied in like colleges and universities, and like we talked about it multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's like that was found in this library.
Yeah. I wonder what other documents or manuscripts or whatever
Yeah,
that really stand out.
there's a
have been
lot of
found.
weird stuff, like his obsession with studying, like omens, and he said that he was receiving prophetic visions from these Assyrian gods of like what to do and what to learn, and it's just like, this sounds like bad.
It didn't say how he got into that, like at the beginning, like how it's
No.
just his surge of knowledge.
Yeah, he was obsessed. His father was mentioned in scripture, though.
Really?
Yeah, the king
Okay.
before him, his father was mentioned in scripture.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I was also reading just the genealogy. Somehow they just skip over generations, like without mentioning them. And I always thought that was interesting. I don't know the exact reason why some are cut out and whatnot, but
Is it because they
It
didn't
is-
have a son?
Or maybe they're redheaded or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh.
saying. There were some that just it was a bad generation, as they would call them. But I mean,
You know what's interesting that we didn't talk about from the
bad.
Ruby Franke thing
What?
is that when Jody Hildebrandt went back to her house before she moved in with Ruby, they went to go like try to figure out what's going on with these evil spirits, and she said, "There's a handprint at the top of my window."
Oh yeah.
And mind you, these people are in like the desert of Utah, like remote.
Yeah.
And it's like, could that have been a giant? Do you think?
Yeah,
How'd that
could've-
handprint get out of there?
Could you imagine? They're getting ancient knowledge. It's bad ancient knowledge, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was like an instrument for evil because she was really breaking up a lot of people's marriages and stuff.
It was
like that.
kind of wild. It was very malicious.
Speaking of malicious,
Delicious.
you hear a really crazy conspiracy theory?
Huh.
That nuclear bombs were not made for humans, but they were made for aliens.
No,
Star Wars.
I don't think so.
They're made for wars in the stars. You're saying we were making a product for our intergalactic client?
Yeah.
Nice.
Stop
That's
it.
the only
no.
thing to disable or the atomic structure. Like
Like so,
Like what CERN is doing or something.
yeah. But I'm like, well, that's kind of a fun thing, but I'm like, I don't know about the too much behind it. And we've talked about it a long time ago, I believe.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, well, what about Project Fishbowl?
Project Fishbowl. Remind me.
So that was a project that was under the overarching project, which was Operation Dominic. And it was basically to test nuclear detonations in the atmosphere and underwater.
Okay.
So Project Fishbowl, they let off 29 atmospheric nuclear tests
Oh my gosh.
in 1962. So shortly after the Roswell incident,
What is that test? What does that look
they
like?
shoot nuclear bombs
Into the
into
sky?
to see what it does to the atmosphere.
So you're telling me we can't use hairspray,
It's-
but they can shoot
Yeah.
bombs off?
It's the holes in the ozone are our fault.
So listen, so it was a series of high altitude nuclear tests conducted by the United States in 1962 as part of a larger Operation Dominic. The tests involved detonating nuclear devices at altitudes ranging from 20 to 250 miles above Earth's surface. And it's a notable test. The Starfish Prime was the largest test within Project Fishbowl, detonated July 9th, 1962, with a yield of 1.4 megatons. It created intense electromagnetic pulses, caused damage to electrical grids and communication systems nearly 900 miles away in Hawaii,
Wow.
and formed artificial radiation belts around Earth.
It formed
What?
them?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we like? I mean, you're just messing with stuff then.
Yeah.
You're just throwing darts, nuclear darts into just the unknown.
But
What does
the-
that mean? Artificial radiation belts?
So you know, like the Van Allen belts that are natural around the Earth.
No.
So it's their belts of radiation around Earth. There's, I think, 2 of them,
I knew that.
and that was one thing that people are like, well, we never went to the moon, because they talk about they're having to build capsules to get to the moon to withstand these Van Allen radiation belts. So how do we do it in the 60s? And so they're saying that basically this nuclear bomb created artificial radiation belts around Earth.
Are they still there?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. But what I was thinking was all these stories, there's classified documents too, CIA documents, and all these stories about all these nuclear tests. There seems to always be something with UFOs around them,
Yeah.
like an interaction with UFOs. And then those stories about the UFOs coming and disarming nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Like, why are they disarming them?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some scenarios to where they actually arm them.
What do you mean?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I think there was like,
heard those.
yeah, there's one, I believe it was in England, where there was this orb, and it came down and it basically flipped the thing. It was like, it's about to take off. Or so it armed the nuclear bomb,
Yeah.
and they scrambled and like shut off. But their bunker was like way, way down. So there's no like frequency or radio signal that could get to this bunker. But when this orb came over it, it went turned
Oh my
on.
gosh.
What?
Could you imagine being like, guys, it wasn't us. It was aliens.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay.
Some
But the
kid.
theory is fun. There's actually one theory around it for opening.
I like that better.
Opening portals. Opening portals to different dimensions. So it's a fringe interpretation, but it's like under extreme conditions created by high altitude nuclear detonations were attempts to manipulate or open
again.
open interdimensional or extraterrestrial portals.
So they're just literally taking these possibly and just blowing up like a star or a black hole. What are they doing? Like,
Yeah,
just,
this was in the Cold War era, so it was
Okay.
a lot of like flexing
Yeah.
stuff. But what they were doing, they truly wanted to see what a nuclear bomb would do interacting with the atmosphere. And it's like, why?
yeah.
Like, so you shoot 29 off, and then but then they did 2 underwater as well that were huge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we got UFO sightings from the sky, the ocean, and that's what their targets were. So that's where the theory that nukes weren't made for people, but they were made to combat this UFO UAP phenomenon.
That's not a bad idea to create a weapon against all that spooky stuff, but that doesn't make sense to me.
But you think about
Not
all
bought
the
in.
you think about all the UFOs and UAPs around nuclear facilities too.
Yeah, but I just think that's because they're nosy.
Maybe.
There's something specific with the atom bomb though, splitting the atom and things. Like that just seems because it's not like just gunpowder. It's like
Yeah.
something insane.
But even like the old we talked about multiple times, but like in these like ancient stories that were fiction,
Yeah.
supposedly, they talked about like these nuclear capabilities. We talked about that one city in the Middle East,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah, just got wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah. They said it was like by this fire weapon from the sky.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Fast, sudden, really hot heat.
man. Yeah.
I think they're just bearing witness to our super fledgling society. And the atom bomb might just be like one next step into propelling us into a new technological era.
Mm.
What's the new?
I don't actually
What's the
believe that.
next God particle thing? What's the next?
We
Atom
see
bomb?
that they froze light.
Yeah, I saved
What?
that. I saved that, but I like haven't been able to
Yeah.
do research on it.
froze light.
You talked about the new God particle.
Yeah.
They've, for the first time ever, they were able to freeze light to where it was this mixture between liquid and solid.
What? Sorry.
I guess I mean,
Could not explain it to you. Don't even ask me to try.
who
But
did
they
that?
have this machine to where they can affect or manipulate light itself to where boom, they were able to freeze light in midair.
Something about stopping. No one's still explained what it is. Like light can be bent by gravity, so it has to have matter, but it's pure energy. And so the definition of light, I still haven't heard articulated well. It might
No.
exist. I haven't like Googled this recently.
I only
when-
know that light is affected by gravity.
It bends from stars around planets to
Everything's
Earth.
affected by gravity.
when
Oh
you
my
said
gosh.
freeze light, I thought you meant literally freeze it.
In the freezer?
Like some type of like, I literally just went to ice. I was just like freeze, and I'm like, I open up my cooler and like,
I'm not going to make fun of you because I thought the same thing.
yeah. So you're saying like literally
Stopped.
stopping mid motion? I mean, existence light. I
We
don't.
can have this guy try to explain it.
Yeah,
Hey.
let's do that.
He's a Josh Aiken official on TikTok.
His name's Josh. I don't trust him.
All right, here. Do you want me to send it to you guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
That's really strange.
do it.
That's really strange.
Very strange
I
indeed.
don't know how to say it, but
You know, you ever
Very
just
strange.
mess up on a word on the pod and then you just hope everyone just goes right on past it? No one heard that.
it's impossible on this podcast. Are you ready?
I don't have TikTok.
So scientists have frozen light, the fastest thing in the world, able to travel across Earth in under a second, and they did it for 60 seconds. But get this, that's the least impressive part, because the most impressive part is how they did it. By firing light into a special machine called a photonic semiconductor. It enabled the photons to act as a Bose-Einstein condensate, which is just a fancy term when large groups of atoms start to act as a single particle because they're chilled to near absolute zero. But this is when it gets a little crazy. When they did that, the light transitioned into a super solid state, which means it was both a liquid and a solid all at the same time. This is kind of insane because super solids are like tubes. They're hard on the outside, but on the inside they're soft and can move things without friction, which is kind of a big deal because it opens up the door to potentially more accurate quantum computing, better lubricants, and for us to finally see those hard light
Don't
structures
tell P.
that we
Diddy.
find in Halo. So
There's a liquid. It's both liquid and solid at the same time, like a Powerade slush.
Exactly. Like a Slurpee.
So the Trinity is just like a Powerade slush.
I could have explained that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know all those words.
So think of a slushy, right?
It's kind of ice. It's kind of hot, but then it's also kind of like smooth liquid.
Do you think they were able to look at it though? Like see it?
I mean, you had to have. It's light. Come on, dude, it's light.
You can't see all light.
But they
Infrared light.
did. But they did chill it to zero.
Yeah, so it was
Almost.
actually frozen.
So we are correct in our thinking.
Like a Slurpee.
Like a Slurpee.
Let's go get a Powerade slush, please.
Hey, speaking of not being on TikTok, you know who is on TikTok?
Who?
It's gonna blow your mind.
Oh, tell me.
Someone who hasn't been in the limelight for years for good reason.
Oh, she knows.
Oh, you know. Casey Anthony is back on TikTok.
I know, and she is a legal justice person? Or
Hey,
what
you
was
know
she?
what?
A consultant.
A consultant.
Hey, she's an expert in the law.
Yeah,
She
technically.
is.
I-
She has
I
more
am an
experience than
expert.
any of us.
No.
I know how to get
side.
away with things.
Imagine literally just like getting arrested and saying, I'm waiting for my lawyer, and then having Casey Anthony show up.
I feel like there would be a bias, like an immediate bias.
She got so much backlash. I don't think she's posted another video, has she?
Oh, really?
I don't
don't
think
know.
so. I think all it was it was supposed to go to her other thing, so it worked out well. She just dropped a grenade and left.
Yeah, that's
It's like, hey, if you want to know more about me, come to this, this social media or whatever website.
that story is crazy.
It's nutso. We'll do a full dive on that on Patreon maybe. It's because it's just so dark and long.
Yeah. My friend
That
from
one I could talk about forever.
high school, her dad handcuffed her.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty dope.
I know.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, because that
It wasn't a cop though. That's
I was
what's
about to
crazy.
make that joke.
This is a citizen's arrest, dude. I mean, she's guilty. As soon as she drove those cops to Universal, walked down the hallway saying, "Yeah, I work here," and then walks all the way into the part where they work, and she turns around and says, "All right, I was lying. I don't actually work here." She had stopped working there for 3 years. That's the first thing she does after her kid goes missing.
Weird.
How is that not an immediate straight to jail?
I actually don't know enough about it. So I do. I
Ooh,
want
dude.
you
I
to tell me.
know so much
obsessed.
about things I know zero about.
Well,
I know all about Frozen Light.
Yeah,
I know nothing about hunting.
once again, imagine a power.
not much to know.
Did you hear about James Cameron? What he said?
I don't know.
I
who
heard,
James
I heard his
Cameron
wife
is.
cried watching the new Avatar.
Yeah,
Oh,
he showed his wife the new Avatar that's coming
Avatar
out.
3?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, his pace has really picked up.
Yeah,
finally.
But apparently his wife sobbed for 4 hours after watching it.
Oh.
you know what she said? She said, "It's so long. I don't want to sit here anymore, James. I'm sorry. I love you,
Stop.
but please make me."
That sounds like a marketing.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, also, yeah, like bias. Like you don't.
Well, she's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
just proud of him.
Yeah.
Like I cry every time you launch a new episode, Dad, because I'm so proud of you.
I'm
Yeah,
so
see?
proud of you. It's so beautiful. That is great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited about it. I guess we will have to do another bet on it, though.
That's a movie you guys can go see in the movie theater.
Oh
without
yeah,
me.
I mean, I don't want to go see it, but I know I
do.
Need, I know I yeah. I'll go.
Visually, it's so fun to
That's
watch.
the only reason to
That's-
go.
yeah.
I'm the storyline. The storyline.
The buildup of a character for all this lore. No, I don't care.
The Avatar universe.
No, this one. You know how the last one had water. This one's gonna have fire. Real cool, James.
Dude, I'm stoked for it.
Where's Titanic 2? We need
Oh, did he
Titanic
do
2.
Titanic?
2, back from the depths.
Jack?
He's holding an axe. There was room for me. No.
Dude, I'm speaking of movies that are supposed to come out or shows. I've given up on Jason Momoa's thing about Hawaii that supposedly wrapped filming like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that story about the ancient Hawaii or whatever.
Yeah, like the unification of the islands.
They could be
They,
still
they did
doing
make
Probably
it.
the
It's called
writer's
Moana
strike.
too.
Yeah,
Dude, did you see the Lilo and Stitch trailer?
I did.
Not yet.
It's so good. We watched it twice last night. It was
Oh
so
man,
good.
I can't wait. I love Lilo and Stitch.
Except for they dropped the H word in the middle of the trailer. I'm
They
like, would
did.
you stop?
Hawaii?
Yeah, Hawaii. I was like, don't rub it in our face, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Anyways,
worst.
I got some stuff to talk to you about Patreon!
Yes.
Patreon.com/ninjas or butterflies, where we do another episode right after our episode, talking about more stuff.
Absolutely. And this, for the past couple of weeks, we've been posting some behind the scenes footage that you're never going to see. We also have a private Discord.
Also, last Friday we did a live on our Patreon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Very fun.
Very
and,
fun.
You could be a part of that as well if you go to there. And also, if you need custom shirts, stickers, or anything, cool little hats, hoodies, whatever it may be, go to SundayCool.com. We work there. You should order your stuff from here then, so we can kiss every one of your shirts before we put it in the box.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Good luck.
Mwah. Good luck. Mwah.
Mwah. And go to SunnyCoolSwag.com to get your ninja merch.
Yeah, because we got
New
some
stuff
new
coming.
stuff. On Patreon, you can already see the new designs.
Yeah,
The
and
nude
make sure to subscribe to our
designs.
YouTube. What are they commenting? What
Zombie weapon.
Yeah, what's your zombie apocalypse weapon? Better be
And
good and it better be realistic.
Yeah.
Follow us on Spotify. Give us a review, all that good stuff, because it really helps. And we
Yes.
love you. And
Thank you so much for listening. We love you
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
You all are family.
We love you.
Yes, we do.
We love you.
A whole day through. I said we love you, ninjas, butterflies, every day. I'll see you later this way.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. See you later. Bye.
Did I say ninja? I meant butterfly. The butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations. Does it empty your mind?
You learn martial arts.
Ninjas attack!
We love you.
That would be a good Foursquare.
Just
The
do the
outro is
yeah.
just Foursquare fuzz.
Don't tell me how to edit the podcast.
Tell
please.
them how to edit.
Someone has to.
No.
Someone has to.
Don't ever do that
So
again.
obvious.
Don't ever do that again. Stay
Fight,
in your,
fight,
Andy,
fight,
stay in your
fight.
lane. Stay in your freaking lane, dude.
You just gotta-
The show's over.
No, don't give him the gun. Oh!